Welcome to Ridge Life. I'm Tim, and today on Ramblings on the Road. That's right, on the road to Come On 360. I've never been to Come On 360. That's David's new place in a whole other part of Arkansas. Well, not a whole other part. It's a good little ways from Come On Mountain. But guys, it's been eventful. I'll tell you that. First off, I wanted to get started earlier this morning. That way I could spend some quality time with my brother this evening, because tomorrow Anthony's going to be there, and Gary and Jason and me and David, and we're going to be start getting it, putting his solar panels up on his new metal building. We're going to do that Friday and Saturday, and I may come back Saturday night because I miss my wife, miss my Mur, or depending on what time we get done Saturday, I may end up coming back Sunday. So Mur, don't know. So yes, I wanted to get going earlier this morning, but it didn't happen. I broke it good. So for that part, there's two things broken, guys, and the second one, oh my gosh, the second one is dead on arrival. But the first one, the one that put me behind leaving, I was working on the solar. Imagine that, Tim's working on the solar. Matter of fact, it was the last project for solar, the last project, putting the surge protectors on and running the wires through. Oh my gosh, them wires were so tight. I probably should have ran 1.5 inch conduit. Instead, I ran a 1 inch. It's fine. It meets the NC requirements barely. But the problem is, I broke something. And I'm dead in the water. I thought I could get by with it. I can't, so I'm just punting. And then I started heading out to David's. And yeah, it makes me so frustrated. So I had to order the parts. The parts will be here when I get back. So the video I wanted to have out today for you guys on Ridge Life, not happening. Won't happen until next week. So I'll get some video this weekend of helping David over on Come On 360 with his solar. He gets the first video out, though. He gets to put the video out first, then I'll put my video out after that. So hopefully when I get back, I can finish up the solar and be done with it, and then be able to put my video out of helping him over on Come On 360. As soon as I get back and finish that solar, I'll be scheduling my final electrical inspection with the state. And while I'm waiting on them, I'm starting right on the off-grid barn house. I already know where I'm going to start. All right, so for the crazy breakdown story, this is not fun. So, hours from home, 5 hours from here, I get a call from my son, Morgan. Morgan just graduated from college, and he rented a U-Haul trailer. He's got a 2003 Chevy Silverado pickup truck. Actually used to be Grandma Carol's. He bought it from her. 2003 Chevy Silverado with a V8. And he picked up a U-Haul trailer and loaded his stuff up from his dorm down there in Mississippi, Starkville, Mississippi, and headed out. He got his everything all cleared up with school, and everything's done with the apartments and all that stuff. So he checked out, got everything loaded up, and headed out on the road for Panama City. That's where he got a new job. That's where he got a new apartment. That's where he's moving to. So I get a phone call, and I was tracking his progress too, and he was in Deep Woods, Alabama. 5 hours from me, at middle of nowhere, still hours from Florida, from his place in Panama City, Florida. Called and said, "Dad, truck won't run." And I said, "What happened?" He said, "You ain't gonna believe this, but a spark plug blew out." I'm like, "What?" And he sent me a little video clip, and the spark plug hanging from the spark plug wire. I was like, oh my gosh, he's on the side of the highway, cars going by. I can hear him in the background. And I was like, okay, all right, here's what we gotta do. Need to look at the spark plug and tell me if it's intact. The spark plug has the boot on it, and then it has a ceramic extension, then it has a nut, and then it has the metal threads, then it has this little gap thing. And that gap thing is where the spark gets made, like that. And then it ignites the fuel, and that's how you get your compression. Well, the reason his truck broke down is when that spark plug came out, he lost all compression. You imagine like poking a hole in a balloon, right? All the engine, when the cylinders move in an internal combustion engine, the little Bill Nye the Science Guy here, guys. You have a internal combustion engine. You have these spark plugs. Spark plugs create a spark. There's a gas air mixture in that chamber where the spark gets made by the spark plug. That chamber, the gas and air mixture explodes, creating pressure. The pressure pushes the piston down, right? And that other one comes up, and they keep firing like this, and that creates torque and rotation in the flywheel, out to the drive shaft, out to the wheels. That's how you get movement. So without a spark plug in there, the combustion chamber is open to atmosphere, and it goes. No compression, no rotation, no torque, no movement, no roundy. You're stuck dead on the road. And he's pulling a trailer on the highway. So he's on the side of the road, and the truck won't run. So I said, let me see the spark plug. And he pulls the spark plug up, and it still had the gap on it, and it was not broken. Now the bottom threads were a little galled up. So apparently last time this thing had the tune-up done, or whatever, they didn't tighten that spark plug down all the way. Because it didn't rip the threads out. I don't know. So I said, all right, see if you can thread that back in there. Twist the boot to the left, and then like 10 times, and then stick it down the hole, and then spin it back. He said, oh, it's too hot. It's burned my forearm on a heat shield. I was like, oh my gosh, that's right. He just pulled over. It was been running in South Alabama heat. Well, he said, let me get some gloves. So we went and got some gloves. Oh, and I said, oh, get some oil while you're at it, and put some oil on the threads of the spark plug. That way it won't, gall up. It won't bind up, cross thread or anything. You gotta make sure you get it on there and you wiggle it straight. He said, all right. He said, I can't get it to spin. The boot spins. It's because the kind he has a little extension and a little spring, and it all just spins on the boot. And I said, well, you're gonna have to get that boot off then. He said he tug, and he could not get the boot off of the spark plug. And of course, he's in the engine compartment of a V8, jacked up. He's got 35-inch tires, I think, or 33-inch tires. I think he got 33-inch tires, and it's 4x4. And so he's down in the engine compartment of a super hot V8 engine. And I said, all right, well, buddy, you got to get that spark plug in there. You got to get it in there. I said, go see if you can take, well, what's the other end of the cable look like? And he says, goes up to the coil pack. I said, well, pull that off. He said, I can't. I said, well, try harder. Twist and pull, because it's a rubber, connect. So he pops it off and said, yes. So I take the spark plug and the cable to the back of the pickup truck. You got your flashers on, don't you? He said, yeah, I got my flashers on. Because I can just hear the semis, woof, right by him. And so I take it to the back. I said, all right, you have any pliers, channel locks, or anything? I had bought him a full set of tools for birthdays, and he keeps them in his truck. And I said, keep that boy, prepared for moments like this. So he has his pliers, and he holds. I said, make sure you put your pliers on the metal nut portion of the spark plug, not the ceramic, and don't do any kind of torque like this, because it will break. It will break. So he got his pliers on there, grabbed a hold of the boot, and he got it off the spark plug. I said, yes. I said, all right, now get it down in there and thread it in, put the boot back on, and see if it goes. So he did that, and he said, it sounds like it's still leaking. He started the truck, and it started this time. And he said, I can still hear it. It's like, He said, but I got it in as tight as I could with my hand. And I said, okay, go. And he said, I'm going to try it. So he got back in the car. I'm still on the FaceTime with him. He got like 30, 40 yards. All of a sudden, Okay, that didn't work, buddy. You got to do more than that. It's so hot. It's so hot. So I said, all right, take it back off, bring it back. I said, do not pour water on it, though. Do not pour water on that ceramic spark plug because it will crack. And he said, all right. So I said, all right, just calm down a little bit. Take a drink of water. He had some water. I said, just calm down. What we need to do is we need to get it threaded in there. I said, you have the tool set I got you, right? He said, yeah. I said, look and see if you got a deep well socket. And that deep well socket will fit over the end of the spark plug and mate to that hex bolt on the nut on the spark plug, the housing. He said, all right. First one I pulled out, it fit, Dad. I said, yes. Okay. So what you got to do? I said, you have an extension in there, right? A socket extension? He said, yes. So I put the socket extension in there. Go take that and put a little oil again on the threads and get it down in there. I know it's going to be hot. And wiggle with it and spin clockwise at the same time. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. And wiggle it a little bit. That way it doesn't cross thread. And he said, all right, Dad, I got it hand tight. I said, all right, now what you got to do is get your ratchet wrench. And that's the reason you had the extension on there, so you can fit the ratchet wrench over it. And I said, I want you to go a quarter turn. I said, did it move? He said, yeah. I said, was it tight? He said, medium tight. I said, all right, I want you to go another quarter turn. He said, all right, I got that. And I said, all right, I want you to go ahead and snug that down. Don't go too tight because I don't want to break this spark plug. Get it on there. And I said, if it binds up, you only get like a half a turn. What you can do is you can change direction, back it up, quarter turn, then go a half turn. Back it up a quarter turn, go a half turn. That's good practice for not galling or burn your threads up. And because the threads on the end of the spark plug were all whack. He sent me a picture. They were good. So you're basically rethreading and hopefully not messing up the engine block, right? So he gets it on there as tight as he could. And I said, all right, get the plugs back on there and start it up. He started it up because I don't hear it anymore. It's not doing the shh. So I still hear something, but it's not like that. I said, all right. I said, so, and when he went 30 or 40 yards, when he drove that one time and it blew back out, he pulled into a dirt driveway and he couldn't, and he pulled in with a trailer and there was no place to turn around. I said, oh, he's got a highway, it was a state highway, not an interstate. That's why he pulled off onto a dirt road. So I said, all right, you're gonna have to make sure your flashers are on, back up, get the end of the trailer as close as you can to the road. Hopefully people will start going around you. And then you're gonna have to get back on the shoulder of the road and get back on the road. He did that, no problem. Good job, buddy. And I said, all right, before you leave, before you pull out, and he said, I almost have no signal, Dad. I'm surprised I can even talk to you. I said, all right, as soon as you get, or turn around here, stop, see if you get a signal. I got a little signal. So I want you to Google AutoZone. Find the nearest AutoZone in the direction you're going. And he said, all right, there's one 20 miles ahead. All right, I said, take it easy. Don't give it too much gas. You don't want to get too much compression in there. And make it to AutoZone. When you get there, pull that plug back out and take the cable and do all that stuff. And then I want you to take it inside and get another spark plug. We can do a whole tune-up later. So I watched his progress on Find My. Me and him share on Find My. And he stopped, and he said, all right, I got it. And he said, I said, how much? Would you send you some money? How much was it? He says, I used your phone number, and you had rewards points with AutoZone, and I got it free. I said, yeah, thank you, AutoZone rewards. And he said, I got it in, and it went way farther, and it's tight, and I got the boot on, and it sounds a lot better. I said, all right, buddy, I want you to just get back on the road, take it easy, and I'll watch your progress and call me when you get home. Well, that was a long ordeal. That was long, because I made it sound, in 5 or 10 minutes. That was over an hour long conversation of trying this. He was working on it, trying this. He was working on it. It was a long FaceTime ordeal, trying to get all that going. Oh my gosh, put me way behind, I'm telling you, but it's worth it. It's worth it. My boy was broken down on the side of the road, and you're going to stop everything you're doing, no matter whether you got to be over at David's or not, or work on your solar project or whatever you're doing. You're going to help your kid, right? So that was the most important thing. So he made it to his apartment, got parked, and he was beat. He was beat. So I said, when the engine cools down, get out there tomorrow and take that boot off, and I want you to recheck tightness of that spark plug, because when everything cools down, everything's going to contract, and you're probably going to get loose, right? So then I want you to go in quarter turn, snug it back down. All right? He said okay, and he FaceTimed with me at his new apartment and showed me around. He got a bunch of stuff moved in, and I ordered him a washer and dryer as a graduation move-in present. So he's scheduling the washer and dryer to be delivered hopefully by Friday. And yeah, that was an ordeal. He made it, and he's safe, and it was scary. It was very, very scary to have your kid broke down on the side of the road, because I was this close to saying, all right, I'm driving down there. David can't come see you. I gotta go help my kid. But luckily, I didn't have to do that. Got lucky. All right, so I'm going to make sure that I pulled over to record this for you. I get back on the road, and I'll see you over at David's at Come On 360. David and I will probably do a keeping it real together, and then tomorrow I'll do a rambling, and Saturday I'll do a rambling while we're working and everything over there. So, guys, wish me luck on my trip. And thank God that Morgan made it fine for his eventually. Whew, goodness gracious. I'm going to miss my Meredith. She knows I am. Going to miss Grandma Carol, too. Grandma Carol takes care of the rabbits and the chickens while, checks on everything here on the ridge and makes sure nobody comes up here and takes messes with my stuff. We got cameras everywhere and motion sensors, driveway alarms and all that stuff. So she knows. All right, guys, love every single one of you. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. It's all safe. Everybody made it. If you did like today's video, give it a big old thumbs up, like, share, and subscribe. It's always 100% free. Hit that notification bell right down there to be notified anytime a new video comes out, one of our channels. Until next time, hope everyone has a blessed day. Keep rambling and go Ridge Life. Woo!